So Cisco has launched Unified Compute, and it's been a very powerful launch. We've received some very interesting and insightful feedback from the industry, and specifically from the blogging community. I've read with great interest some of the views and the commentary that's been made, and I'd like to take the opportunity today to address and provide some feedback on a number of those points. Virtualization is a concept that has been talked about for a number of years now, and this actually delivers against that. Virtualization is the enabler to drive the different value in the industry. So the unified computing system is actually an overall part of an architecture and a system rather than just a blade server environment. So I think there's some unique differentiators that are important. It's a single system actually that helps to unify the overall compute environment, the network infrastructure, and the ability to actually have a unified fabric approach to process much more efficiently. And some of the memory capability that this solution brings is very critical for organizations that have challenges from a latency standpoint. The ability to actually reduce the complexity within the data center from a cabling perspective is important for everybody, and less than half of the support infrastructure is actually required within this solution, which is again very important. We've worked strongly with a number of other partners from an ecosystem standpoint. We have a grouping of categories that we've looked at, and one of the groupings is the SI organization, the solutions partners. So we've worked very strongly. We've established some very good relationships with Accenture, also with Tata around that area. So bringing some of the application capability and knowledge. There's also a whole suite of technology partners that we've worked with as well. Organizations such as VMware, EMC, and NetApp, from an overall technology ecosystem, and then from a manageability perspective with the likes of BMC as well, in order to ensure that we have full interoperability, and that brings the real power of the architecture from a data center perspective to our customers. One of the comments that I've seen actually from Neil Robinson on a blog called Landzen was that, is this actually a data center in a box versus a data center built from boxes? And actually it's quite an interesting comment, because I think that the power of this overall architecture is it can actually be that in certain instances. It brings a level of modularity that organizations need, and if you look as they need to scale in a building block manner, and building towards the overall cloud argument and leveraging the unified computing structure, it actually does help to address that, and to be able to build modularly in a controlled, scaled and manageable fashion, but quickly, with the appropriate speed and agility from the business. So all of those things are very compelling, and you can't just compare point to point from blade to blade, because it's so much more. One of the interesting dynamics that we have right now in the industry, and I've noticed this from Gestalt IT, is one of the blogs that we look at, around organizational change, and do companies want to bring the silos of network, storage and server together? And actually they do. The industry has been demanding this for some time, and I think this fulfills against a real need for businesses and organizations today to be able to be agile, to be efficient, which is something that the industry analysts, Forrester and Gartner, have been talking about for some time. 70% of spend right now in the industry from an IT perspective is on managing their existing estates, and this brings real efficiency and real value there. Recently on a blog called BritBlog, there was some commentary by Christopher Crowhurst, and actually on that he was talking about an instance whereby an outage would occur and the challenge of downtime within a mission critical environment. Now if you look at the power of virtualization and what that will bring, it's an ability for organizations to rapidly recover, and actually in a lot of instances have a streamlined no outage scenario. This actually helps that dynamic. So a number of people have asked me whether the unified compute solution is just a greenfield only solution, and actually I've seen some commentary on the open source blog around this as well, and actually it's not the case. It's applicable to all instances and scenarios. It's become a highly complex area to operate in and mission critical for all organizations. Without question there's benefit from a greenfield. I don't think anyone disputes that, but actually there's real benefit as well as in introducing this solution into existing estates. So we've actually gone through a comparison between a legacy system of around a 320 server build versus our new unified compute system. And that's where you start to see some really considerable tangible benefits for the solution. So if we walk through each of those in detail, for cabling actually there's a reduction of around 86% of the amount of cabling required, which is massive for organizations. There's a reduction in time to provision from actually days and weeks down to minutes, again, which is a huge benefit for organizations. And then if you look from a CapEx spend perspective, there's a reduction of around 43% within that, which again is considerable. It's based on industry standard platforms, industry standard solutions, and the ability to interoperate with others that are best in class in the industry has been a deliberate approach that we've taken. And also some of those, that integration from a manageability standpoint perspective is key, to be able to work with the existing investment that organizations will have made and to integrate fully with that is an important facet here. There's a number of comments that have been raised from a blog perspective. So Greg Ferro on Ethereal Mind, for example, has asked about this. Without doubt, the industry is ready to look at cloud and is looking at cloud now. Cisco as an organization is, without question, one of the best placed companies to deal with this challenge and to help our customer base go through this evolution in the industry. And unified compute is a foundation for that proposition.